my channel. For today's video, I have a foundation review for you guys. I haven't done a foundation review since I kind of talked about the Urban Decay All-Nighter, but didn't really do like a full-on review. But the reason I wanted to do a review on this foundation is because there are hardly any reviews on it yet on YouTube. And when I try to search for reviews and color matches, I just hate not being able to come up with anything. So I wanted to do a review on this foundation for you guys. Number one, because it is a Lancome foundation and I have just discovered Lancome foundations this past year. I bought the Lancome Teint Idole Original Foundation. And since then, I have also picked up the Teint Idole Stick Foundation. And so when I saw this on Sephora's website, I just knew I had to try it. And it is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Cushion Foundation. So this is obviously a cushion foundation. It's got the mesh net in it, and it's very much like the traditional packaging for any type of cushion foundation on the market right now. So this is the foundation I'm going to be reviewing in today's video. I'm going to do a demo while I talk through it, talk to you about the colors, the longevity, and what I think overall about this foundation. So if you guys are interested, let's go ahead and get on into it. Before I get into the actual demo, I do want to point out something that's going to be really important if you guys do decide that you like this foundation. So when I initially saw this foundation on Sephora online, I knew I wanted to try it. I love all of the Teint Idole formulas I have up to date. And so I typed in my zip code to see if they had the Teint Idole Cushion Foundation at my local Sephora. It said that they had it, so I drove to Nashville, which is the Sephora that I go to, and first thing I walk in and I don't see it out in the Lancome section. I see the Lancome Miracle Cushion Foundation, which is not the same as Teint Idole Cushion Foundation. They are totally different foundations. They are both cushion foundations, but they're two different formulas. So I pulled a Sephora employee off to the side and I was like, hey, can you tell me if you guys have the Teint Idole Cushion Foundation? I see the Miracle, but not the Teint Idole. And she proceeded to try to tell me that the Miracle was the same as the Teint Idole. And I just kind of had to break it down for her. I was like, they are two different formulas, two totally different foundations. And she didn't believe me, and she was kind of getting mad at me. And so I had to pull up my Sephora app and just show her that I was looking for Teint Idole Cushion, not Miracle Cushion. So my point bringing this up is if you do go to your Sephora and you only see Miracle Cushion, it is not the same as Teint Idole Cushion. This is a newer foundation, so maybe all Sephoras don't have them in stores yet. So I did eventually just have to order mine online. I went to 2 different Sephoras and they did not have these in store. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Do not get Teint Idole Cushion mixed up with Miracle Cushion. They are totally different. So I want to talk about the application process first because I feel like you guys will be really interested in seeing the demo of this foundation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it while you watch the demo. And basically this is standard packaging for a cushion foundation. You get the little, pad applicator and you just press it down into the actual foundation and you press it on your skin. I want to say that this is the first cushion foundation that I feel like can be applied with the pad that comes with it. It applies flawlessly with this little applicator. You don't even have to use, a beauty blender. You don't have to use a brush, a foundation brush to blend it out. Now I do find that after I have applied this all over my face with the pad, that I do like to use my brush just to make sure everything's buffed in, but that's the only reason I use my brush. And honestly, I really don't even have to do that. It's just like extra step I take to make sure everything is just perfectly blended. But this is the first cushion foundation that I like applying with the applicator. I could not believe it. It applies very almost full coverage with the applicator. I would definitely give this foundation more of a solid medium full coverage. It's not, you can build it up to full coverage, but I would say definitely more on the medium to full side upon first application. And it just, honestly, it blends very nicely into the skin. If you go to the Sephora website, it says, and if you read on this box, the Sephora website says that this foundation has a matte finish. The box says a soft velvety finish. Let me tell you folks, this is not matte and it is not velvety. It is definitely more on the luminous side. It's not a dewy foundation, but it has some glow to it. So if you're going into this thinking that this is going to be a totally matte foundation, it is not. I think they totally got that wrong with the formula, or I don't know what was up with that, but this is not a matte foundation in my personal opinion. So now that we're through the demo, I do want to talk about the packaging on this foundation really quickly, because this foundation is $47, which is not cheap, especially for a cushion foundation. And I want to bring this up because I feel like this is going to be for those people who really care about quality of packaging and the visual appeal of packaging. When you buy this sucker, I felt like I was getting my money's worth. Just look at the box that it comes in. It comes in this huge box. When you open it up, you actually have the pad is on the outside of the container, and the foundation is refillable. So you can actually, let me see if I can pop this out. Okay, so you can actually pop the foundation out, and all of this comes separate in this box, so you kind of have to put your foundation together. I'm assuming you can buy just the refill for this, maybe, I don't know. This is such a new foundation and I couldn't find anything on it, but it did come with a cartridge that you could just place in the compact. So I hope that they do offer just refills that you can buy. I don't know if they'll change the price on it or how that works, but so yeah, the packaging is definitely reminiscent of something I feel like you would spend a lot of money on. Something that is also a little different about the packaging on this foundation is that it does have a mesh insert. It's not like your traditional sponge insert with the most cushion foundations have that, you know, just really porous sponge inside the compact. This is an actual mesh insert. It's very firm and it does not absorb the product, I feel like, how a sponge does, how a sponge cushion foundation does. So that's something that I thought was also really innovative and neat that Lancome came up with. I don't want to talk on colors too much because that is something that obviously you guys can go look at on the Sephora site or wherever you buy your Lancome foundations at and see which color you are. But I do want to talk about the shade that I picked out, obviously, because I feel like a lot of people comment and they feel like they're the same skin tone as me. So I ended up purchasing the shade 280 Bisque W, and I was kind of flawed in that because I was lazy when I was ordering this foundation and I didn't go back and look at the colors of my other Lancome foundations. I knew in my other Lancome foundations that they were called Bisque W, which is true, but in each Lancome formula foundation, they change the numbers. So for example, in my Lancome Teint Idole foundation, I'm 230 Bisque W, and in my Teint Idole stick foundation, I'm 250 Bisque W, but I keep the name Bisque W in all of my Lancome foundations. So when I saw Bisque W on the side, I was like, oh cool, that's my foundation. It really, this color is a little dark for me, to be honest, right now. I mean, I have to keep my extreme self-tan on, like this is my dark self-tan, and I would have done well to just choose 250 Bisque W. There's two Bisque W's in this foundation. There's a 250 Bisque W and there's a 280 Bisque W. 250 would have been, I'm almost sure that it would have been my 100% perfect match, but for some reason I was just not paying attention and I got 280, which is a little deeper and more olive for my skin tone, but it works. I mean, it looks fine after I get all of my makeup on. I don't really feel like it's a huge difference, but I did want to throw that out there. In all honesty, I feel like I would have done better with 250 Bisque W, but I got 280 Bisque W. So moving into longevity and overall thoughts on the application and the wear of this foundation, I want to say that I love the way that this foundation looks on my skin. I feel like it is such an accurate representation of what an everyday foundation should look like. It has a nice medium coverage to it, which is very hard to find in cushion foundations. You know, most of the time cushion foundations are sheer to light coverage. You might be able to get like a light medium coverage out of most cushion foundations, but I feel like Lancome did make it a point especially in their packaging, to let people know that this is a long wear, high coverage liquid cushion makeup compact. That's what the description says. And I would agree. I think it has amazing coverage. It's not as full coverage as the original Teint Idole liquid foundation, but it's still, for a compact or cushion foundation, has wonderful coverage. And I feel like the reason I love this so much is A, it does not accentuate my pores. It has a really nice natural finish to it. Like I said, it's not really matte, it's not dewy. There's a little bit of luminosity that you can pick up on when you apply it, but that's nothing that you can't matte down with powder. And overall, I really do love just the little pad application. I have never applied foundation with a, like, you know, one of the sponges or pads that comes in foundation purchases. So that's saying something when you can actually use the product that comes in this packaging to apply your foundation. So I really liked that also about this. As far as like the longevity goes with it, I would definitely, it's supposed to have a 15-hour wear, I believe. Let me see here. I can't find it on the box, but I believe on the website it's just like the other Teint Idole foundations. It's supposed to have, I believe, a 15-hour wear. That's really hard to test out, obviously. So in my conclusion of wearing this the past few days, I would definitely say that I could give this a solid 10-hour wear, especially with the humidity we've been having. But I took a nap in this foundation yesterday, woke up, and it looked the same as when I applied it, you know, I think it was like 6 hours before. So I was really impressed with that. I have had no problems with this coming off. It stays on my skin nicely throughout the day. And I mean, overall, I've been really pleased with that aspect. So last but not least, I always include this segment in my foundation reviews. Who would I recommend this foundation for? Honestly, I feel like this foundation is going to appeal to many different skin types. The formula of it is so, how would I say, just so adjustable to, I feel like, any type of skin, whether you're oily, combo, dry, normal. I just feel like this is going to be a really nice everyday foundation for all skin types. I do feel like maybe people with oily skin might have a little bit more of a problem with the finish of it, because like I said, it's more on the natural luminous side. And if you're just diehard matte foundation, don't be tricked by the description on Sephora. This is not matte. I mean, I think you can tell when I apply it in the demo, but I read all of the reviews on Sephora's site right now. I think there was probably like 10 reviews on this foundation so far. They were all 5-star reviews. And I feel like that is also a really good representation of how foundations are going to work. When people, you know, go on Sephora and there's like a 5-star rating. Granted, I will say there's some foundations that I think suck and I hate that have really good ratings, but you know, this is a new foundation and I feel like people are quicker to, you know, not judge, but quicker to definitely share their opinion if it's negative on a newer product. And all over the reviews on Sephora were good up until the last point that I looked at. So and I did read a few people had oily skin and they liked it. So yeah, I definitely think this foundation is worth trying, especially if you love the cushion, you know, packaging and you just like the whole cushion trend right now. This is the best cushion foundation I have tried on the market. And I know cushion foundations have the reputation to be more on the light coverage side, but if you just haven't been pleased with that and you want something with more coverage, this is definitely a phenomenal foundation. I mean, I just can't believe I am only now just trying Lancome foundations this year. Every single Lancome foundation I have purchased, I have genuinely loved and I use on the weekly basis. So overall, this I love, I'm a fan of, and I think most of you guys will end up liking it as well if you do try it out. Alright guys, so that is it for this review. I hope I answered all of the questions you were wanting to know about this foundation if you were even remotely interested. I hope that even if you weren't interested, you might be interested in this foundation after watching the review. And once again, I thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you'll go to Sephora and at least do a little swatchy swatch on the back of your hand if your Sephora has this foundation. Do not get it confused with Miracle Cushion. Miracle Cushion had terrible reviews. I've not tried Miracle Cushion, but it did not have good reviews. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope I gave you some insight on this foundation. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.